We'll discuss about laboratory diagnosis of HIV infection. Myself Dr. Taruna and I am Associate Professor in Microbiology Department of SP Medical College, Bikaner. This is the structure of HIV and we know that various antigens they are there. They are envelope antigen, then core antigens, then this reverse transcriptase enzyme is there, P17, P24, GP120, GP41 and GP160. These are the major antigens of HIV. Now the question arises, why there is need to go for HIV testing? What is the purpose of HIV testing? Of HIV testing is for prophylaxis, medical management and treatment of patient, to assure blood safety of the patient, to identify asymptomatic individuals and to prevent HIV infection in those who practice high risk behavior, and to prevent secondary transmission from one patient to another, and to diagnose clinically suspected cases, and to assess the efficiency of intervention and to monitor the trend of epidemic. So these are the reasons we subject one for purpose of HIV testing, or we subject the individual for HIV testing. Now enumerate the various tests which are to be done before blood transfusion. The various tests which are to be done before transfusion, they are HIV. Patient blood should be checked for malaria parasite, HCV hepatitis C virus. Patient blood should be checked for hepatitis B infection. For that we test for HBsAg and of course VDRL or RPR in order to say the blood as free from syphilis. So these are the tests which are to be done when we take blood in blood banks for blood donation, from blood donation, and which are to be given to the another individual. So that blood should be checked for these kind of infections. How we diagnose various microbial diseases? Various microbial diseases, they are diagnosed either by microscopy or by antigen detection or by antibody detection, or we can go for nucleic acid detection also. Similarly, how we can diagnose HIV infection? We can demonstrate the infective agent, that is HIV. How? Number one, by virus isolation or by virus culture. Second, we can go for antigen detection. Which antigen to be detected? P24 is the earliest antigen which appear in the patient blood and we can detect that one. Or we can go for virus nucleic acid detection by PCR. Since HIV is a RNA virus, so we can detect this RNA or nucleic acid by PCR. Indirect method of demonstrating the infective agent, that is HIV, is we can go for anti-HIV antibody detection in patient serum or in patient plasma. Now there are various screening tests and there are supplemental tests or confirmatory tests. Various screening tests they are to be done in donated blood and blood products for surveillance, and for this we choose ELISA. Although result we get is in 2 to 3 hours. If we subject the blood for rapid testing, we can get the result within minutes. If we go for simple test, we can have result within 30 minutes. This ELISA is having high sensitivity, this is easy to perform, and this is adaptable to large number of sample. Approximately 90 to 92 sample we can test in one run. Then there are negative and positive control also. So in one plate, 96 plate is there, 96 tests can be done, including positive and negative control, and this is cheaper one. NACO approves the test with high sensitivity and specificity for screening. Now there are supplemental tests also for HIV. They are performed on sample which are reactive in screening test, and third generation ELISA can be used for as a supplemental test. Then rapid simple Western blot can also be performed as a confirmatory test or supplemental test. And these tests, they are having high cost, they require technical expertise, but they have high specificity. The confirmatory test, we can have ELISA with different antigen system or with different principle. This can be used as a confirmatory test. and immunoblot or Western blot test, line immunoassay, indirect fluorescent assay, and radioimmunoprecipitation assay. These are the confirmatory test or supplemental test for HIV testing. Now this is ELISA plate. Yellow wells here, they are showing positive test. These are positive results. Whereas white wells, they are negative for this. And this is a microtiter well plate which is 96 well plate. This is the ELISA reader. This is semi-automated ELISA reader which is having washer. Washer is also there for washing purpose, because in between the test we require washing of the wells also. And this is semi-automated ELISA reader and washer. This is manual ELISA reader. The test is done manually and thereafter reading has to be done, and after reading we get optical density or OD depending upon the color of the well. And if this OD is higher than cutoff value, we report the test as positive. If this OD is negative than cutoff value, we report the test as negative. And nowadays we have fully automated ELISA machines or readers are there which do dilution, pipetting, washing, incubation and reading. Everything has to be done by machine. And this is called as fully automated ELISA readers, which are now in use nowadays. And this is a kit, ELISA test kit, which is having various reagent, and this is a plate, ELISA plate. The plates are sealed one and we can use them for testing like this. Now we have ELISA, first generation ELISA, second generation ELISA, third generation ELISA, fourth generation ELISA. What are the difference between these 4th generation ELISA test? First generation ELISA, in this the antigen used is viral lysate. Cultured virus lysate is used as antigen. What we detect? Antibody. Second generation ELISA, recombinant antigen are used. What we detect? Antibody. Third generation ELISA, synthetic peptides are used as antigen. What we detect? Antibody. Whereas in case of 4th generation ELISA, synthetic peptides or recombinant glycopeptides are used as antigen. And both antigen as well as antibody can be detected in 4th generation ELISA. So these are different generations of ELISA. Now, when we detect a specific antibody in ELISA against HIV, then the ELISA test is sensitive one, this is a specific one, and this is cost effective one. And the types of ELISA based on the principle are indirect ELISA, competitive ELISA, sandwich ELISA, and capture assay ELISA. There are rapid assay also which are based on agglutination or modified ELISA principle they are based on, and we can detect the antibody in these rapid assay by using recombinant or synthetic peptides also. These are the rapid test kit for HIV detection. This is, we can call it as cassette ELISA. This is line for control, this is line test line. So this is positive test. If only control line is there, test will be negative. We have kits like HIV tri-dot also, in which we have 3 dot. One for control, one for HIV1, one for HIV2. Maybe sometime patient is positive for HIV2, then only dot for HIV2 will be there. And dot for control will be there, but there will be no dot for HIV1. And vice versa also. And this is, you can see here, lines or bands for HIV as well as control, and these are immunochromatography test strip, and these we use as rapid diagnostic test. Rapid test kit. We can test by saliva also or by 1 drop of blood, finger prick. We can go, these tests can be useful by finger prick and for saliva. So rapid advantage of rapid test is that we can, within minutes we can have result, and we can test saliva also as well as finger prick blood is required in rapid. Name different antigens of HIV. What are different antigens of HIV? These are GP160, GP120, P24, GP41, then P31, P17, P15, etc. These are different antigens of HIV which we can detect in Western blot. So in Western blot, 3 bands at least they are required: GP120, GP160 or GP41 plus P24. 3 band at least if they are there, then we label the test as positive. If any single band is there or 2 band are there, then we label the test as indeterminate and we have to go for repeat test. If no band is there, then the test is negative. So this is how interpretation of Western blot, which is a confirmatory test for HIV, is done. Now, immunoblot, Western blot, line immunoassay, these are the confirmatory tests. In line immunoassay, we use recombinant or synthetic HIV antigen, whereas in Western blot, we use viral lysate as antigen. There are certain prognostic tests also. Once we declare the patient as having HIV positive, we refer them to the ART center, and in ART center, they have to come regularly for prognosis. So how the prognosis can be done by HIV viral load, whether viral load is high or viral load is low. This we have to detect by RT-PCR, nucleic acid sequence based assay or branch DNA assay. And P24 antigenemia can also be tested. Otherwise we have to go for CD4 count, cell count is the main surrogate marker for immunological function. So if CD4 is more than 500, patient is well. If this goes down below, or if this is below 500 per microliter of blood, then this is a hallmark of progressive infection in the patient. So name various specimens which can have HIV virus. Specimen which can have HIV virus, they are semen, vaginal fluid, cervical fluid, tissue, CSF, plasma. So how we can go for virus isolation or culture of virus? In this we have to take patient lymphocyte which are infected one, and we co-cultivate them with normal T lymphocyte. And then ballooning of cell will be there, and we have to go for P24 antigen detection or RNA. This reverse transcriptase activity detection in the fluid. What is window period? Diagnostic assay in window period. Window period is the period once HIV enters in our body and seroconversion occurs, that is appearance of IgM antibody in our blood. That is window period. So during this period, how to detect whether patient is infected or not? We have to go for either virus culture, or we have to detect virus RNA by PCR or by P24 antigen detection, because during that period only antigen will be there, virus will be there in the blood, no antibody will be there in the patient. P24 antigen detection can be done by ELISA, and this is a sensitive test. PCR can also be done during window period. This is a molecular technique and specificity is high also. So this can be done during window period and in neonates also. But this is expensive one. Expertise is required, needed for this. If newborn they are infected one, then we cannot go for antibody detection because maternal IgG can be transferred from mother to baby, so that can interfere, or this can give false positive result in neonates. So if neonates are infected or not, we have to go for P24 antigen detection or by PCR, or we can go for culture by T lymphocyte. Laboratory diagnosis during window period, as I told you earlier, can be done by PCR, P24 antigen assay or by virus. Monitoring stage, or how we can know for progression of HIV infection, by virus marker, by HIV viral load, RNA viral load, or by detecting P24 antigen in the patient. Then there are cellular marker like CD4 cell count and lymphocyte activation. Then plasma HIV viral load can be done by quantitative RNA PCR, branch DNA assay or by NASBA technique. Then monitoring stage can be done by CD4 cell count, If they are more than 500, patient will be well. If less than 500, then patient may not be well. And if it is less than 200, patient is having full-blown AIDS or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. How we can detect CD4 cell count? By flow cytometry, by microsphere assay, or by enzyme. Then HIV testing, there are various strategies. Strategy 1 is for transfusion or donation. Strategy 2 is for surveillance purpose or for clinical sign and symptom of HIV infection. Strategy 3 is applicable for asymptomatic patient. So for strategy 3, 3-time testing has to be done by ERS. Strategy 2, 2 times testing has to be done by different antigen or different test. And for transfusion safety, only once we have to test the blood. So strategy 1, if test is negative, ERS, ELISA, rapid or simple, any test we can do if single time. If this is negative, serum is considered as negative. If positive, this is considered. And in case of strategy 2, if negative, considered as negative. If positive, by single test, we have to repeat it by second test. Or second test with different antigen or with different kit. Then strategy 3, we have to test the patient sample 3 times. If negative, considered as negative in single test. If positive, have to be repeated by second test of different antigen or different kit or different methodology. Again positive, we have to test by third test kit. This is in our department, we have started HIV testing way back in the year 1994. Voluntary Counseling and Testing Center started in our lab in 2001. Sentinel Surveillance in 2002. PPT-CT we have started in year 2004. National guideline for HIV testing for monitoring the trend of HIV infection, for blood donors, for diagnosis of HIV and for research. And based on these, unlinked anonymous testing is there, voluntary confidential testing is there, and general principle of HIV testing is there that overall comprehensive and preventive program testing should be technically sound and appropriate, and mandatory testing is neither rational nor necessary. Can we subject anyone for HIV testing? No, we can't subject anyone for HIV. Because according to national testing policy, no individual should be made to undergo a mandatory testing for HIV. No mandatory HIV testing should be imposed as a precondition for employment or for providing healthcare services and facility. Any HIV testing must be accompanied by a pre-test and post-test counseling. Issues in HIV testing are that HIV antibody testing and counseling should always be voluntary and confidential. Types of counseling: pre-test counseling, post-test counseling, follow-up counseling, general counseling and family counseling has to be given along with HIV testing. Why there is a need of counseling? We want to prevent HIV infection in other relatives or contact of the patient who has been subjected for HIV infection. We have to give psychological support to the patient who has been subjected for HIV testing, and this is for motivation and for change in high risk behavior of individual who has been subjected to testing. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Please don't forget to give your feedback in comment section also.